Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Tejano Traveler. I am your host, Wally, and today we're taking a break from regular travel and focusing in on some of the spooky travel that you can find. Spooky travel around San Antonio. That is our goal today. We start off at St. Dominic's Church. We see the ruins of the old church that used to be there a long time ago. The church is in Tejanos, Texas, or Old Tejanos, Texas, which got bypassed by the railroad. And back then, if the railroad bypassed you, that was pretty much a death sentence. Of course, while you are here, you can see the inside of the church and see how kind of cool it looked underneath. Inside, you can still see the walls that are standing. You can walk around the church, try to see if you can see any interesting activities going on. The church is open to the public. There are some historical markers that you can visit and read. It is right next to a cemetery, which gives it an extra spooky feeling. And people say that they see strange lights, shadows, noises while they're here at the cemetery and at the church. They swear they can see the priest still attending the mass, or parishioners going in and out, or parishioners on the windows, or what's left of the windows. The cemetery is old, but it still buries people from the community, so you'll see fresh gravestones and old gravestones. But it's west of San Antonio, past Castroville on the way to Hondo, Texas, so it's a pretty good stop, especially if you were going to the South Texas Maize and Pumpkin Patch. This South Texas Maize and Pumpkin Patch is a pretty fun place to go with the family. There's a flower patch that you can walk through, take pictures at. Of course, there's pumpkins. You can buy all sorts of pumpkins, big, small, medium, large, fat, skinny, oblong, strangely shaped. But I've always liked walking through pumpkin patches. You can see the whole maze from the top of the hill that they have there. They have a slide, but that's mostly for kids, and I guess I'm not a kid anymore. And then you can walk into the maze and get yourself lost in it. It's a pretty decently sized maze. You can walk around, pretend he who walks behind the rails is chasing after you until you realize it's just Richard Flagg, and you're like, worst spoiler in history. But you can walk around and try to get yourself lost, try to get out. There's plenty of help if you are trying to get back out, if you're trying to panic, so don't just run through the crops. There's lookout hills where you can see what's beyond and how to get back to where you want to go. Also, there's funnel cake. Every festival has to have funnel cake. Our next stop was in Leon Valley, just west of San Antonio, the Huebner Onion Homestead. The Huebner Onion Homestead is a Texas historical landmark, but they say that the ghost of the owner still haunts the building, especially if there are men in there. I guess it still thinks his wife lives there and gets mad and that kind of stuff. But while I was there, the lady kept telling me there were no ghosts. And I'm like, lady, it's the only reason people are coming here. Quit it. They have some old ruins of what the homestead used to have back then, which are pretty cool. And that used to house racing pigeons. That was the extreme sport back then. After that, I went to the Hot Wells Hotel ruins, which shows what the rich and famous used to live like back at the turn of the century, 19th century. Was it 19th century? 20th century? Back in the 1900s. I can't believe I just found out about this place. I've been going to San Antonio since forever, and I didn't even know it was there. But the ruins are now a park, and you can go and walk around and see how the rich and famous used to live. They used to come here to take the waters of the spring that used to be there. It apparently had medicinal purposes, and now you can walk around and see how they used to dive into those pools and get all healthy and everything, and they say the ghosts keep coming back. Next stop was Lona China Cemetery in mysterious East San Antonio. I'm not sure why they call it China Cemetery. I'm not sure what it has to do with the Chinese, but it's a narrow strip of land cemetery. It's still a functioning cemetery. It's out in the middle of nowhere. It really is like a long strip of land. You can get creeped out by seeing your name. And then this creepy headstone there, which is probably the creepiest thing I saw there. And be careful when you pull out, because there's 18-wheelers zooming by. Next we had the Donkey Lady Bridge, which is a bridge that is supposed to belong to the dreaded Donkey Lady. She was a lady who had a donkey, and when this aristocrat started beating up the donkey bit it back, and there was drama, and the aristocrat said, "I'll be back," and he came back and burned down the lady's house with her inside of it. And when all things were done, her hands were burnt to a crisp and her face had melted off. She looked like a donkey, and she ran out and jumped into the waters. Now they say that this bridge is where she makes her home. They say that if you go there at night, you hear donkey noises, or she'll come out and start beating on your car. Of course, nothing happened while I was there, because I'm not dumb enough to summon anything. But it was still kind of an eerie feeling. It's out in East San Antonio in the middle of nowhere. They've tried to incorporate it into a park, but I still don't see a lot of people walking the trails there. I guess the Donkey Lady Bridge still has people spooked. Next is Comanche Lookout Park, which is actually a nice park in San Antonio. It's a hill that has a lot of trails going around it, and the remains of a tower for some eccentric guy that was going to build a castle, but then died and stopped. But it used to be the Comanche Lookout, and people say that they can still hear the drums of the Comanches, the war drums beating, or the chanting of the natives as they wait to attack the pioneers. So yeah, I wouldn't hike there at night. And last but not least is the San Antonio Ghost Tracks. You know what this is about. Everybody knows about the San Antonio Ghost Tracks. This is what happened to me when I went there. Seriously, I was spooked. I'm like, holy crap. Yeah, okay. I know that was dumb, but I had to do something. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope you have a spooky holiday season, and hope you were able to see some of these awesome ghost haunted places in Texas. Thank you. Subscribe.